tell you what, it was such fun when my son says to me, "Dad, do you realize that the 4th of May is tied in with the whole Star Wars thing?" And he explained to me how.
Why's that?
That. Tell me, Squire. You tell me what's special about the 4th of May. Come on, Pete.
Well, you're saying it wrong. It's May the 4th.
May the 4th.
May
yes,
the 4th.
May the 4th.
So, May the 4th. Yeah, but I mean, the 4th of May, to me, at first, I didn't realize the significance. But suddenly, when my son explained it to me, I then suddenly thought, hang on. And then, Pete, I love the way your sort of phrase that pays is, "May the source be with you."
Yes.
And I suddenly thought to myself, well, we can play with this. And then, of course, with Julius, who helped us, we were both working on the same project as Zambezi Queen some time back. He picked me up in his new Beamer, and the registration number happened to be Jedi. So I suddenly thought, hang on, there's a common thread that runs between us.
Yeah. It's also I've actually got a cool a bri, one of these gas weavers. It's called a Q300, but it's got this black lid and it looks like a Death Star. It's actually quite.
Yeah, I've seen people do fire pits. They make into the cutout like the Death Star pattern on it, the round spherical one. They look amazing.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And I can see the background there, Julius. You've got.
Oh, there we go, Jedi.
Styling.
Very cool.
And I do remember when you picked me up with that car, I had to hold on to the dashboard because that thing was cheeky like heck.
Is it?
Like you saw it every day and just push the
it's
M
one
button.
it's one of those interesting things. Just to Star Wars, back to Star Wars originally. I remember seeing it. Geez, when it first came back, when it came out with 77, 78 thereabouts. So this was back in the day when South Africa, we were still back in the dark ages then, and movies, music, stuff like that would come out maybe 8 to 9 months after the rest of the world had seen it. And we used to go to a steakhouse in Call It Drive. It used to be called the Six Gun. And on Thursday nights and on Sunday nights, they used to have a movie. They used to get a 16mm projector, used to go and sit, and they used to show a movie on a screen. And my job as the eldest kid was I had to phone and find out what the movie was, and then book a table for Thursday night or Sunday night if we were going to go out to go and watch a movie and have dinner out. And I remember phoning on this Thursday night and saying, "What's the movie?" The guy said, "We can't tell you what the movie is." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "No, trust me, you're going to want to see this, but I'm not allowed to say what the movie is." So we said, okay, we were going to go anyway. So the thing was, is it suitable for kids? He said, it's fine. So we go and we watch, and the whole place just, and all of a sudden this movie starts. And I realize what it is. It's a bootleg copy of Star Wars.
Wow.
And because I'd read all about it, because I was a bit of a movie nut as a kid, and so I used to read all the international movie magazines and stuff. So I knew what we were about to watch, and I mean, as a 14-year-old kid, I nearly peed in my pants. We saw, and the beauty of it was that a mate of mine, Dave Poole, who was in my class, was also there. His family also together. And I thought, oh yes, someone who can back up my story. Because when I go to school tomorrow and say, I saw Star Wars last night, I go, yeah, shut up, you bastard. We both went and saw Star Wars, and we saw it like 8 months before anyone else, before it came to like mainstream cinema in South Africa. We saw a bootleg copy of the Six Gun and Call It Drive. And since then, it's the movie. It changed science fiction.
Yeah, but see, nobody understands it anymore. If you were a little boy at that time, you've never seen anything like it before, and it will never happen again because we've now been exposed to so many similar things that you actually can't recreate that feeling and the impact it had.
Yeah, and you can still watch it today, and it's still. I mean, I've not been a huge fan of the kind of the prequels and the, because for me it was dated of its time. It was cutting edge science fiction and the effects and stuff like that. And when you see the prequels 15 years later and the kind of the movie, the special effects have come on like exponentially. And so the stuff that happened earlier is far more involved and more technically spectacular than you go back to that original, and it still holds its own even now. And it's what it must be 30-something years old.
It's amazing how stuff like that can just keep on going. Hey, and you look and you think to yourself, how did they get it right way back then?